When you upgrade to the new Enterprise plan, you'll notice that you now have some new options in the main navigation. Up here we see that we now have Team, Admin, and your name for a new profile section. So just before we dive into each of these, let's take a look at the new structure for the SpeedCurve Enterprise plan. So at the top here we have your main account or your organization, and this is where we hold all the billing information so that you only have to be invoiced once, and this is where we have the budget. So the Enterprise plan starts at the 50,000 checks per month. And now underneath this, which is new, is we have a team structure. And this is really useful when you're a large organization and you have multiple teams working on different web properties, or you're an agency and you have multiple clients and you want to set up a new set of dashboards for each one of those clients and control access permissions across those different teams as well. And so we have users. We can now add multiple users and give them different access permissions to either view or edit the settings and the data in SpeedCurve. And then underneath that we have the sites that you will already be familiar with, that you've been used to editing through the Sites menu. And this now allows us to invite multiple users and give them different access permissions, and even set up multiple teams. And these users can belong to multiple teams and even to different organizations. So it's a really flexible structure that allows you to set up SpeedCurve in lots of different ways that suits your organization. So in this example here, we are pretending to be Condé Nast, which is a large publisher in the US. And they have a number of website properties related to publications like Wired Magazine and New Yorker. So in this demo account, we've set ourselves up as Wired. We're on an enterprise plan, so we can now go into the admin section and we see a bunch of options here that we can use to set up and manage new teams. So on the first page here, you'll see the plan and usage. This is where you can see your plan information, when it expires, and how many checks per month you have. And down here we have a handy usage graph that shows for the Wired team at the moment, this is how many checks per day they are currently using. So let's jump in and add a new team. So we can go to the team menu here. We see our existing Wired team. You already have one of these by default in your current settings, and we can jump in here and add a new team. So we're going to add a New Yorker team here. And we have the snippet here, so you can see that's added by default. And this is just the little bit this is the little snippet that appears in the URLs, just personalizing your dashboards. We'll choose a time zone here. It's the New Yorker. Let's pretend we're in New York. And here we're just setting some of the site details for the default site that's going to be in your new team. And we'll grab a URL here, just check, make sure it's right. Magazine, and let's monitor that from the US East Coast. So I can now go ahead and add that new team. That'll get added to SpeedCurve, and we see now that we have individual API keys, so we can interact with the API using those keys, and we can see that our budget has been split. So we originally had a budget of 50,000 checks per month, and now we have 25,000 checks per month evenly split across those teams. And we can now see that up in the top navigation, we've got a drop-down menu and we can see both of our teams. So now it's really easy to switch between our different teams. We can switch over to the New Yorker here and we see all the dashboards for the New Yorker. And we can go into the settings and we see our new team that's been set up and all our normal settings that we're used to kind of editing and so we can go in here and add a site or add more templates, add more regions to monitor, all for the New Yorker team. And switching between them is as simple as jumping in between this drop-down menu. So now that we've got our new two teams set up, the New Yorker and the Wired under the Condé Nast organisation, we can go about adding more users and more admins to our organisation. So first, if we go in here to admins, we can go in and invite more admins. Now, an admin is anybody that has permissions for any of the teams across your organization. So adding an admin here will allow them to edit and kind of view both the New Yorker team and the Wired team, and also any new teams that you add in the future. And so this is simple as popping a name in. I'm actually going to invite Steve here. And Steve has now been invited to join the Condé Nast organisation. And Steve will get an email address, get an email with an invite that he can accept, and then you'll see him turn into a proper kind of admin here. And if we want to, we can go in and look at the status of that invite, and we can resend it, or we can kind of delete it if we choose. So that's how to give someone admin permissions across your whole organization. And they'll also be able to come in and edit other things as well, like the name of your organization and the URL snippet as well, and see your usage and kind of budgets and accounting information for the whole organization. So that's how to invite an admin. If we just want to invite a normal user, we can jump into any of our teams. So let's jump into the New Yorker team here. No usage yet because we've only just set up that team, so there's not much kind of monitoring yet. And we can jump in, we can start to add users to that team. So at the moment, there's just the Mark Zeman demo admin at the moment because Steve hasn't accepted that invitation yet. And we can go in here and we can invite other people as well. So let's just invite a pretend person here. So Bob and SpeedCurve. And we can adjust the permissions. So for the New Yorker team, do we want them just to view the dashboards? Or do we also want to allow them to edit the settings, the monitoring settings, so add more sites, add more URLs. So let's make Bob here just a view-only person. And we'll invite Bob. And they'll now have access just to the New Yorker team. So basically an admin can see all the teams, or you go into the individual team that you want to adjust and invite people just to see the New Yorker. So when Bob logs in, he'll only be able to see the New Yorker team and all the dashboards associated just with that team.